Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Teresa, and today I'm going to be talking about recommendations for the prompts for row number 2 of the Cryptid Creatures Readathon bingo board. Hello guys, it is hotter than heck right now and I don't know what it is about the space that I'm in, but my this room that I'm in is above a garage, and it is the hottest part of the house in the summer and the coldest part of the house in the winter. So it's unfun. I have a fan going, it's on low, so hopefully it's not too disturbing, but I'm just in a tank top and my hair is no makeup, you know, all that kind of stuff, because guys, it's hot and I am not gonna deal with it, and I only have a short window of time when I can actually film this video today, so yeah, we're just gonna go with it. So as I said, I am recommending you the books that will fit the prompts on row 2. If you want to see cryptid recommendations for row 2 or book and cryptid recommendations for row 1, there will be a playlist link down below. Tomorrow will be row 3, and so on and so forth. Let's just jump into this because I don't want this video to be a crazy long one. I feel like it already is gonna be, but we're just gonna do what we can do. The first square on row 2 is the Kraken, which is to read a book with pirates. Sorry about the angle change, I'm a little all over the place today, but the first book I have to recommend to you that involves pirates is, I think, one of the most classic pirate stories that you can find, and that would be Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. Y'all, I gotta be honest, I've never actually read the book. I've seen the movie, I've seen Muppet Treasure Island, which I'm telling you, if you've never watched it, it's the funniest movie. I'm obsessed with that movie. My siblings and I will always quote quotes back to each other like Jimmy Jim 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 and the black spot. It's hilarious. It's really funny. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you should go watch it. It's where the Muppets, like Kermit and all them, basically do their own version of Treasure Island, and Tim Curry is Long John Silver. It's so good. But anyways, Treasure Island. I honestly don't even know what age range this is. I don't know if it's kids. I don't know if it's adult. All I know is that, like I said, I haven't read it, but I've seen the movie, mini movie adaptations. It's just about a young boy named Jim. He ends up going on an adventure. Like I said, I've never read the book, so I'm kind of going off the movies, and I don't know if the movies are how accurate they are to the book, but he goes on an adventure and there is a pirate named Long John Silver. Yes, there's definitely pirates in Treasure Island. Okay, another one, you guys, that I have to recommend that I actually haven't read yet either, but I'm guessing there's pirates in this because the name of the book is Pirate Latitudes by Michael Crichton, and there is the pirate, the Jolly Roger symbol there. Michael Crichton, I can never remember exactly how to pronounce his name, is the author. We have a map in here. This is awesome. He is the author of Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, and quite frankly, he is one of my favorite authors. This is in the Caribbean in 1665, and it is a irresistible adventure of swashbuckling pirates in a new world, a classic story of treasure and betrayal. That's all I want to know about it. So if you want a pirate book, I'm sure this one will be good. He was such an amazing author. And most of his stuff is sci-fi. So this one, I don't know if there's any sci-fi in this or not, but it would be kind of interesting to read and find out. You'll have to let me know if you read this one. So 2 other ones that I have that I can think of off the top of my head that are pirates. And I was looking through my shelves and I'm like, wow, I really don't have a whole lot of pirate books, which I need to remedy this. I made these prompts and I'm like, I don't have any books to fit them. So what am I thinking? But first off would be Fable by Adrienne Young. I am actually reading the prequel to this book, which is Saint, which is about her father. And this is about pirates. It's about pirate life, it's kind of has some magical elements to it. Our main character, Fable, is able to find certain gems or rocks, valuable things in the sea. And so she is very valued, but her father basically dumped her on this island, which is basically full of thieves and ruffians and all that kind of stuff, you know, the piratey things. And she is determined to get back onto his ship and basically take her revenge because he abandoned her. So that's Fable. Like I said, I am reading the prequel, which is Saint, and Namesake, which is the sequel to Fable, would also work for this prompt. And then we have one that I just read this year and really enjoyed it, and that would be Voices of the Ocean by Kelsey and Peacha Shea. This is like a Little Mermaid retelling, but very much twisted. And I'm not going to go into too much detail into this because I think it's one of those books that you really need to read to experience it yourself without like knowing a whole lot into it. But I will say it works for pirates. It definitely works for pirates. We do have like a Little Mermaid character, but in this book they are sirens. They are not mermaids. We have an evil sea witch in here. We have some magical, like political Sea Kingdom stuff going on, and our main character is very much just never feels like she fits in. She always feels like she's in the way or too much. She's the youngest daughter, you know, like Ariel. And she's basically, you know, the character of Ariel. And as far as I understand, like from what I understood from reading the book, this is more of an adaptation from the Disney movie Little Mermaid than from the actual book The Little Mermaid. It did feel Disney-esque, but like in a good way. I don't even know how to describe it to y'all, but this has pirates in it. It'll work. Recommend it. It's great. More angle changes. So sorry. I have piles of books everywhere. I need to like reach and grab this and move my camera, and I can't remember exactly where I had it. So whatever. This is just going to be a hectic video. Okay. So next up, the next square is Mothman, which is read a dystopian book. You could read dystopian, post-apocalyptic. You know, it's very, I'm like, I don't really know what the difference is between the two of them, really. So anything that has that feel or vibe to it will work. Some of the books that I have to recommend to you, there are some very obvious ones. And the first one, of course, would be The Hunger Games. Like this is, I mean, you can't get more dystopian than The Hunger Games. And this is young adult. I'm pretty sure most of you know what The Hunger Games are. Hunger Games, definitely Suzanne Collins, classic dystopian. Another classic dystopian is, of course, Divergent by, her name is escaping me right now, but it's on the screen. Divergent. I was more of a Divergent fan than a Hunger Games fan because I read Divergent first. Love Divergent. YA, dystopian. Children get chosen and get put into different factions and all that sort of things. And the next one will be Ready Player One. This one is definitely dystopian. I'm kind of going through ones that I think most people already know about first, then I'll go over some ones that maybe you don't know about. It is 2045 in this world, and everyone's like online because the real world sucks so badly that they kind of have to go online to escape, and they play a game. And I guess I've actually never read the book, nor have I watched the movie, but in here there's like this really rich dude, like the richest dude in the world or something like that, hides a treasure in the game. I don't know if he like dies or just like he hides it, and whoever finds it wins this huge treasure and like a chance to rise above and have a better life. And so our main character is one who is trying to find the prize, but this would definitely be considered a dystopian post-apocalyptic. Okay, moving on to a few that maybe are not so popular in mainstream that you might not have heard of before. We have The Young World by Chris Weitz. There's a sickness that wipes out majority of the population. We have young survivors who are basically like forming tribes to try and stay alive, and we are following our main character Jefferson, who is the reluctant leader of the Washington Square tribe, and Donna, the girl he's secretly in love with. Someone finds a clue that may hold a cure for the sickness, and they have to go on a road trip to try and figure stuff out. Once again, one I haven't read, but sounds pretty good and definitely sounds dystopian to me. And the last dystopian book that I have to share with you guys today is The Line Between by Tosca Lee. This is about a woman who escapes a doomsday cult only to find out that the stuff the doomsday cult preacher guy was predicting is coming true. It's pretty wild. This is a duology. I will say I was not a biggest fan as the second book, but this first one was so good. We are dealing with basically this disease that's spreading throughout the world that causes rapid onset dementia. And so people are losing memories and fading really fast. You know, so I mean, dementia is a big part of this. If that is a sensitive topic to you, just be aware that is talked about in here. But yeah, our main character, she escapes this cult, and that she's been in, like, that her mother brought her and her sisters in when she was a very, very young child. But yeah, when she gets out, realizes that, holy crap, the thing that the prophet has always been talking about is coming true. And she is trying to basically learn how to integrate back into society as a cult survivor, while also struggling with the fact that, like, oh my gosh, he was correct, so am I incorrect then by leaving the cult? She somehow finds out about a cure, and her and a former military man have to basically team up and try to get to Colorado to deliver the antidote to this virus. It's a really good book. It's fast. It's very fast paced. It's very, like, intense. And yeah, this is definitely one I would recommend for dystopian. Moving on to our next square, we have Chupacabra, which is to read a book with multiple POVs. So this can be 2 or more perspectives in the book. So the first one I have here is one I just read last month and very, very much enjoyed. Definitely a 5-star, really, really good book. This is Darling Girls by Sally Hepworth. This is a adult thriller. It's a dual timeline. It is set in Australia, and it is following these 3 foster sisters. When they were younger, they were all in foster care together at this house. From the outside, it looked perfect. It looked like this was just this beautiful, lovely woman who was giving these girls the best life possible. We fast forward to, well, now they're all adults, and a body is found on the premises of the home that they were at. And now a bunch of things are coming out about maybe this woman was not as kind and generous and loving as she portrayed herself to be on the outside. We are following each sister's point of view, and we're also getting a point of view from someone talking to a psychiatrist, and we do not know going into this book who that person is. We just know that they are somehow related to the story. This is definitely a heavy book. I will say there are trigger warnings in here for sure. It deals with foster care, and I believe the past timeline is in the 80s. I don't know if it says, but I do think that the past timeline is like 80s, 90s time period. It's really talking about the bad side of foster care. Of course, foster care can be a wonderful, beautiful thing, but the system, at least here in America, I'm sure Australia, reading this book, if this is anything like real life, the system's broken. And while there are really good people that really mean well, there are also really horrible people, and a lot of kids can fall through the cracks, and it's just a really, really sad, horrible thing. And this book definitely tackles that subject and kind of the different things that some of these women had to experience when they were young, going through different foster care homes. And we're following the 3 different women, the 3 sisters, who each went into foster care for a different reason. And so we're kind of exploring that as well, and at different ages and things like that. So it's a lot of exploration around childhood trauma. There's a lot of child abuse in here, but like truly the end of this book, I was like crying in happy tears at the end of this book. These women are able to overcome some really horrendous things, and we're able to see them work together and become this super tight-knit family that, only happened because they were in foster care together. And there is something so crazy twisty at the last chapter. I was like crying happy tears, and then I was screaming in the last chapter because there is something so twisty in the end that I'm just like, oh my gosh, that is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane, absolutely wild. What is reality? Basically. So yes, I do highly recommend this if you are a thriller reader. It's more grittier, it's more heavier topics. If you can handle the topics that in here, I think it's a beautifully done book. So this one is multiple perspectives. It'll count for the prompt. Okay, next up, we have Spectres in the Glass House. This is by Jamie Jo Wright, and I will say pretty much any of her books will count for multiple perspectives. I don't know about her newest release, which is a thriller. I think it's called like Buried Wilderness Secrets. I'm not sure if that one is dual POV or not, but any of her like releases from this backwards, like 2024 back, All of those books are multiple points of view, at least two people, if not more. We have mysteries in the past, mysteries in the present. This is one of my favorite books by her. She's one of my all-time favorite authors. It's an ominous butterfly house, a sinister legacy, an untraceable killer. We have the butterfly killer in here in the past timeline. And in the present timeline, we have a woman who is she becomes entangled with an elderly biographer's quest to uncover the truth behind Marion Arnold's mysterious life and the unsolved murders linked to an infamous serial killer. And Marion Arnold it's in 1921. She's the heiress to a brewing baron's empire, but this is also during Prohibition and some crazy stuff. There's murders happening, some wild things are going on. And we do have this beautiful setting of like this huge, sprawling mansion that has a glass butterfly house. All of her books have like a questionable, paranormal type, spiritual type of elements to them. And they are historical fiction in the past timeline and then present. Mystery of past, present, they all combine together and it's just so good. So yeah, any of this author's works will work for multiple POVs. And I do believe I also recommended her works for historical fictions. Those will count as well because we do have past timelines that are historical. Next up is one that is a bit different in the formatting, but I will still count it as multiple points of view. And that is Murder in the Family. And this is by Kara Hunter. I am slightly through this book. I was reading this book along with Allison from, Allison on a Book Break, I believe. I'll link her channel down below. She's great. You should go watch her. She has some pretty major health complications happening, so she's recently coming back to Booktube. Kind of like myself, completely different scenario, but this is how far I got into the book, and then I was in a very serious car accident and was unable to continue reading this. I don't know if I finished my first train of thought. We were doing like a buddy read on her channel where her channel members would we'd read certain amount of pages, stop, and then she'd do a video and talk about it, and then like that. So this is how far I got. This one's really fun, you guys, because this is a multimedia type of book. We have text messages, we have police reports, we have transcripts. This is like a true crime documentary basically, where they're bringing together all of these experts and they're compiling all the information they can find to see if they can solve the murder of a man named Luke Ryder, who was the stepfather of acclaimed filmmaker. And the filmmaker guy was alone in the house when it happened. He was asleep. He said he didn't hear anything. And the murder was never solved. So now we kind of have, it's almost like, if we were to watch it on Netflix or something, a documentary taking place. It's the filming of, all the reports they're going over. It's really, really fun. I recommend if you're going to read this book to tandem read, have it physically and do the audiobook, because it's like full cast, sound effects, the whole bit. But because we are, having transcripts and all of these different things in here, we are definitely following different points of view. So I will count something like this as a multiple point of view book as well. The last one for the Chupacabra that I have to recommend to you today is The Butcher and the Wren by Elena Urquhart. I don't remember how to exactly say her last name. This one's a bit brutal, so it's a pretty heavy thriller, definitely along the lines of like Karen Slaughter if you've read her stuff. The author is the co-host of the podcast Morbid, which I absolutely love. It's a true crime podcast. She's also an autopsy technician in real life, so we do have autopsy stuff happening in this book. This follows our main character, Dr. Wren Muller. She is a forensic pathologist, which is someone who basically does autopsies and finds out how people died and that sort of thing. And we're following her point of view, and we're also following the view of the butcher, who is a serial killer who is very much obsessed with our good doctor here. And we don't know why. So we're following him as he is very brutally murdering women across Louisiana. And of course, Wren, as she is trying to help the police find him and figure out, why is he targeting her. This has a major crazy twist in the middle of the book that I literally had to go back and reread to make sure that I read it correctly. I was like, this is wild. Absolutely adored this book. This is her debut and it was brilliant, but I will say again, check content warnings in here because it does get kind of gory, kind of graphic when we're talking about the murders and the forensic pathologist type of autopsies and that sort of thing. Now let's move on to what is probably my most favorite prompt on the entire board, and the one that I have way, way, way too many recommendations for. And that is the Mokele Mbembe, which is to read a book with dinosaurs or dragons. If you guys don't know me, I am a humongous dinosaur fan. I don't know if you can see, but I've got little pop figurine characters around, little dinosaurs around. My TBR game is based around dinosaurs, based around Jurassic Park. I'm a huge Jurassic Park fan. So I have a lot of books that will work for this. I'm going to try and rapid fire through these because I'm looking at the timer and I'm realizing, wow, yeah, I've already gone a little bit too far over time, even though I said I wasn't going to. So let's just move through this. Very, very obviously, the first book that I'm going to recommend to you all is Jurassic Park and the Lost World by Michael Crichton. Jurassic Park is book 1. Lost World is book 2. Science, dinosaurs, break out, people die. I'm pretty sure pretty much everyone knows about Jurassic Park. But this, oh my gosh, it's such a good book, you guys. So obviously this one will work. If you are looking for more of a fun, lighthearted type of dinosaur story, you can read Dinosaur Sanctuary, the manga. It is basically Jurassic Park, but if the dinosaurs never escaped and they're friendly and nice, and we're following the dino keepers as they are going through their day-to-day life, taking care of these dinosaurs in this universe. Dinosaurs, the fad of dinosaurs is kind of dying down, and so they don't have a lot of money. They're trying to figure out ways to bring the park back to life so they can properly take care of these animals. It's really cute. I've read the first 3 volumes so far. I am myself not a manga reader. I'm really not a fan of the format, but I do really enjoy this story. So you could definitely read Dinosaur Sanctuary. If you're wanting more of a fun, quick middle grade read, you can read The Arc Plan, which is book 1 in the Edge of Extinction duology. This is by Laura Martin. This is another Jurassic Park type of scenario, but instead of it being contained, dinosaurs got out and basically wiped out most of humanity. The rest of humanity is now living underground while the dinosaurs rule the earth once more. We're following a young girl as she is basically trying to figure out what happened to her father. He was a brilliant scientist who disappeared when she was young, and she just found a note that he had left her, basically saying, you need to deliver this package to someone above ground. And she's like, but nobody goes above ground because there's dinosaurs. And the dinosaurs in here have some kind of mutation that make them way, way bigger than they actually were in real life. So you got a little bit of that craziness, and it's her and her best friend. They both go on an adventure, but like they're not supposed to leave, so they have some struggles with that kind of thing. And now they're, exploring the above ground and trying to escape the dinosaurs while also figuring out what her father was doing. And basically he said, the fate of the world is in your hands kind of situation. So that's a lot to put on, like a 12-year-old. So loved this book. I thought it was very, very fun. If you are looking for that Jurassic Park feeling, but more in a like action-packed middle grade, highly recommend this one, and then the sequel as well. And the last dinosaur book I'm going to be talking to you about, because like I said, I literally have a stack like this big of dinosaur books. That's just what I own, let alone what I could talk to you about. But the next one I'm going to recommend is The Paleontologist by Luc Damas. Now, I actually have not read this one, so if it's a bad book, I apologize. I do plan on reading this very, very soon myself. This is basically a dinosaur horror. It is a haunted paleontologist returns to the museum where his sister was abducted years earlier and is faced with a terrifying and murderous spirit in this chilling novel. So to me, it feels like Night at the Museum, but not family friendly. If you know what I'm talking about. I do think that this does take place either during COVID or like during the pandemic, or right around the pandemic. So that might be something that you might not want to read, but I really hope it's good. I really do. Now that we're done talking about dinosaurs, let's talk about the other side of the prompt, which is dragons. So in case you don't want to read a book about dinosaurs, you can read a book with dragons. And surprisingly enough, I don't really have a lot of dragon books. I was looking at my shelves and I'm like, this is a tragedy. So the first one is I think it's YA. It might be middle grade-esque, but it's definitely more on the younger side. And that, of course, is Aragon by Christopher Paolini. I mean, duh. This is like, when you think dragon book, it's like, this series is dragons. This is about a young boy who finds a dragon egg, hatches it out, and goes on a bunch of adventures with his dragons. Very, very classic dragon fantasy. This is definitely one you could use. Another one that everyone has been raving about recently, and I'm like, I still need to read it, I'm so bad at this, is The Natural History of Dragons. This is a fiction book written as a nonfiction, and it is following basically, I believe it's Lady Trent, and she is like a naturalist just writing down her observations about these dragons. And we do have some imagery and stuff in this book. And I have heard literally nothing but good things about this series. And I mean, this is so up my alley. Like, I don't know why I haven't read it yet. Maybe I'm scared. I think I'm intimidated by it because it's like, I think it's going to be so good. The last book that I am going to recommend to you all today is Together We Burn by Isabel Ibanez. You might not recognize it just because this is Owl Crate edition and the cover is different. Isn't it stunning though? This is basically alternate history, and instead of bullfighting in Spain, you have dragon fighting. And our main character, she comes from a long line of dragon fighters, and she is a flamenco dancer. And then our main male POV, because this is YA, so you know there's gonna be some love interest, and the main male character is a dragon hunter or dragon fighter. So you have a flamenco dancer, a dragon fighter. I have no idea if this is dual POV. I can't tell by flipping through it, but I know it will work for dragons, and I know it'll work for historical fiction. Okay, everybody, those are all of the books that I'm going to recommend to you today. Of course, there are so many more that you could choose from, but I kind of wanted to give a few, some well-known and maybe some unheard of books to kind of give you an example of what will work for these prompts for this readathon. I can't wait. It's coming up so soon, and I am so excited. Thank you so much for watching this video. It really truly means a lot to me, all of the support I've been getting around this readathon. If you guys have made it this far and you don't know what this readathon is, first off, thank you for making it this far. This is a readathon that I've put together that is all about cryptid creatures. The announcement video will be up above if you want to watch it, and all the information, including the link to the Discord, will be down below. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss tomorrow's video, which will be recommendations for the cryptid creatures of row 3. Also, guys, make sure to go check out my co-host Nala. Her channel will be linked down below as well, as she has been instrumental in helping me put this readathon together. So go give her some love and support as well. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, do all the YouTube things. And if you made it to the end and you don't have much to say, but you just want to leave an emoji to let me know you're here and supporting me, go ahead and leave any kind of water emoji, because we're dealing with krakens and pirates and that sort of thing in this video. So any kind of water emoji will do. Thank you so much for watching. Happy cryptid hunting, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.